Hello and welcome to I24 News Sports Daily Magazine with all the latest scores and stories from around the world. Wednesday evening, one night of Champions League is behind, one more coming up, and these are the headlines. A heavy punishment for Barcelona. The giant club from Catalonia will not be allowed to transfer players until next summer due to breaches in the transfer of minor players. Two Champions League quarterfinals were held last night, two more coming up. A giant clash between Paris Saint-Germain and Chelsea, one more between Real Madrid and Dortmund. MLB champions, the Boston Red Sox, came to visit the president, and it wouldn't be a proper visit without a selfie. And we take a tour around the world. Horse racing in Dubai or rally racing on the Greek Acropolis, there is something for everybody. Hello again and thank you for joining. We are live from the Jaffa Port. We begin with the Champions League. The first two matches were held last night, both undecided, leaving everything open for the second leg next week. In the Camp Nou, Atletico Madrid proved once again why they are still in contention for the Champions League and La Liga. The Colchoneros took the early lead on a beautiful strike by Diego, but Neymar equalized after a superb pass by Iniesta. 1-0 was the final score. Everything still up for grabs ahead of the second leg at the Vicente Calderón, and both managers find the positive aspects of the game.
Yo creo que la eliminatoria sigue siendo muy pareja.
I think the qualifier is still very balanced. Obviously, we are a bit behind after what happened, but our hard work leaves me calm.
Pero también es cierto que ha habido un rendimiento que a mí me da mucha tranquilidad.
Entonces, sinceramente, más allá del resultado, de lo que pasa en el
Whatever the result says or how the second leg turns out, this fills me with pride as a coach. And I guess every Atletico fan thinks the same way.
Both teams are also dealing with injuries as Piqué and Diego Costa left the pitch during the game. It is unclear how long Costa will be out. Piqué is set to miss the next month. That adds to Victor Valdés, who is out for the rest of the season. But those are not the only bad news Barcelona is dealing with today. Neymar, who arrived this summer to Barcelona, will be the club's last big transfer for a long time. FIFA has banned Barcelona from signing players for the next two transfer periods due to breaches relating to international transfer and registration of players under the age of 18. The sanctions follow investigations initially conducted by FIFA over the course of the last year and concern several minor players who were registered and participated in competitions with the club over various periods between 2009 and 2013. The ban means Barcelona will now be able to bring in new players only in the summer of 2015. Now to the other quarterfinal played last night, one that may have been one-sided on paper and on the pitch, but not in the result. Manchester United may be going through a terrible season, but there's a huge pride in this club. The Red Devils put most of their efforts in defense, and Nemanja Vidic even put them on top. But when Bayern Munich is on the other side, one goal is not enough. Bastian Schweinsteiger equalized before seeing the red card in the last minute, and everything will be decided next week at the Allianz Arena.
We need to score. We need to go there and attempt to win the game and get some goals. So I think other sides have gone there and done that. We'll need to try and do the same.
We will decide. We will try to decide in Munich. But I'm happy. I'm happy for our performance. 70% of ball possession. We've had 15 attempts, and it's not easy. It's easy to play. I play many times against Chelsea and other teams, England teams, and put 8-9 players in the box. And it's not easy to create the chances, but we create quite enough.
Two more games will be held tonight, and we begin with the clash of the millionaires. Paris Saint-Germain hosting Chelsea. It's been 21 years since the French club won the Champions League for the last time. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is determined to change that. The Swedes striker is in superb form this season, leading PSG to a second successive French title, and now he wants to show he can also take his team all the way on the European stage. Not an easy task when Chelsea's on the other side. These are the 2012 European champions, with very experienced players, and more than all, a manager who won this trophy 2 times with 2 different teams, and he expects a very big duel.
And in this moment, the team is very complete. It's full of very good players. The coach is good. The passion in this city is also good. People love football. Parc des Princes is always a beautiful place to play. So I think now they are dominant in in France, the same way Chelsea was dominant in England.
And another big match tonight at the Santiago Bernabeu, a rematch of last year's semi-final, Real Madrid hosting Borussia Dortmund. Iker Casillas was not the man in goal when Robert Lewandowski scored 4 times last year, eventually leading Dortmund to the final, but he remembers it very well. So does every Real Madrid player and fan. Cristiano Ronaldo and his friends know it's time for revenge. Dortmund is not the favorite in this clash. They were not the favorites last year either, and we all know how that ended. Therefore, manager Jurgen Klopp is looking ahead to a very tough meeting, but certainly one that he can win.
Obviously, Barcelona, Real Madrid, and Bayern Munich are the best, but we have to keep on evolving. We don't have the same abilities as those teams, but previously, people thought Borussia could not go further than the quarterfinals, and we proved we could. Last season, we were a barrier Real Madrid could not overcome. We don't know what this year will bring us, but we will try again.
For years, football dignitaries refused to use technology as a tool to help referees avoid mistakes. Finally, it seems this barrier has been breached, as the upcoming World Cup will be the first major tournament where goal line technology will be used. The equipment is being installed these days in stadiums around Brazil. FIFA finally approved the change after the 2010 World Cup, where every England fan is still mad about the Frank Lampard goal that was not approved by the referee in the match against Germany. The replay clearly showed the ball cross the line. It's moments like these that FIFA will hope to avoid by bringing in the new technology. There are 14 high-speed cameras dotted around the pitch, with 7 facing each goal. The cameras will be set in Fortaleza for the first match of Group D between Uruguay and Costa Rica. The big question, though, is if Uruguay will be there. The South American champions are in danger of being expelled from the World Cup. This after Uruguay's Football Association Board resigned amid a serious crisis with the local government. The crisis erupted after the Uruguayan president, José Mujica, decided to withdraw police forces from matches involving the country's big clubs, Peñarol and Nacional. FIFA might interpret this decision by the president as an interference in football affairs and suspend Uruguay in this case from any team competition. Football federations used to be the big forces in European sports politics, handling teams and players, but with the introduction of big money and foreign team ownership, these federations look to be old and undated. Are they about to disappear, or will they still have a role? Lise Barenboim tries to answer.
At a time when private companies are buying sports clubs with big money, sports federations seem irrelevant by the day. Sports federations are associations which oversee regional clubs or leagues. Since 1945, France has given its federations several favors, like organizing competitions, establishing its national teams, and training coaches and referees as well. However, the federations also have to implement the government's guidelines and to promote France's image, a mission that the Football Federation undertakes with the French national team.
I told them about the jersey, the national identity, something that avoids us a bit.
Sports federations are often stagnant institutions, having presidents who stay too long in office. Each president is elected for 4 years and can perform an unlimited number of terms. These people often end their careers in sports federations, and their mission is nothing more than volunteering. Some presidents who don't always have the adequate profile find themselves in compromising positions. One example is Jean-Pierre Escalette, who was forced to resign from the French Football Federation chairmanship in 2010. He was considered outdated as he did not speak the same language as the young players of the French national team.
I am bitter to succeed my friend Jean-Pierre Escalette in one of the darkest periods of French football. I am fully aware of the need for reform on the following 4 topics. First, our statutes. Secondly, our ability to manage. Third, our ability to work as a team. And fourth, the way we communicate.
Budget is also a matter of concern. The federations are financed by 3 sources. 50% of the budget comes from the licenses contributions. Sponsors and local communities give between 15 and 30% of the budget. The state itself adds 25%, and the rest is completed by television rights. In 2012, Valérie Fourniron, the French Minister of Youth and Sports, announced a 6% decrease in subsidies to sports federations, an announcement considered as a blow to these organizations. While some sports are able to pay for themselves thanks to television rights, many others can't. The Swimming Federation barely receives those rights because its infrastructures can't accommodate large events for broadcasting. However, funding can also come from dubious sources, which was the case of the French Handball Federation in 2012.
Since its inception, the Federation is based sufficiently on solid values, and I tell you with the greatest determination that we will overcome this difficulty.
Gender is also a problem in the sports federations. Since October 2013, the quota of women in federations is no longer required by French law. This is seen as another failure in the modernization of these institutions. It seems like sports federations are a comfortable position for a job, sitting in the spotlight rather than actually taking care of the actual sports.
NBA now, and with the playoffs just around the corner, many teams are trying to secure their place in the postseason. One direct clash for a playoff spot was held in Dallas, where the Mavericks hosted the Golden State Warriors. One thing both teams did very well is shoot from outside. They combined for 29 of 61 from behind the arc, almost 50%. And the best of all was Dirk Nowitzki. The German star led Dallas with 33 points on a night of 6 of 8 from downtown. He scored all 4 of his three-point shots in the second quarter, part of a 41-23 run by the Mavs, who led by 9 at the half. Not only Dallas knows how to do it, when Stephen Curry is on the other side, anything is possible. He had 23 points. Just over a minute to go, Klay Thompson, again from outside, ties the game, and it's overtime. It was closing the extra 5 minutes as well. Jose Calderon nails the three, but the Warriors had the last shot. Game is tied, Stephen Curry, and it's good. Golden State wins 122-120. We go to the Big Apple now. The Nets hosting the Rockets in Brooklyn. The home team proved again why this year has been so good for them. The Nets are 30-12 in 2014 and are also the 5th team from the East to book their spot in the playoffs. Kevin McHale and the Rockets are currently 4th in the West, but their performance was very slow. Look at Omar Sheikh with the air ball from the free throw line. Part of a dismal night, he scored just 2 of 6 free throws. This, of course, was no concern for the Nets, who display their beautiful team play. Paul Pierce with the assist, and Joe Johnson nails a 3. He was the leading scorer with 32. It was always relatively close, but the Rockets never gave the feeling they can win it. Joe Johnson does it in the paint as well. Former owner Jay-Z and his wife Beyonce can be proud. Brooklyn wins 105-96. Champions Boston Red Sox lost the first game of the season in Major League Baseball, but that doesn't mean they cannot celebrate their previous achievements. The Red Sox are in the middle of a series against the Orioles in Baltimore, and they took the time to make the short trip to D.C. to meet President Barack Obama. David Ortiz, known as Big Papi, presented the president with a Red Sox jersey with the number 44. Obama is the 44th president of the United States. Ortiz also made sure he has a selfie with Obama, who credited the team with helping Boston heal after the city's marathon bombing last April. Now it's time to take a trip around the world with some sports that are more conventional and others a bit less. Kicking off in South Africa with the 7th and final stage of the Cape Epic mountain bike race. The stage was shorter than most, just 69 kilometers, but with 1,800 meters of ascent into the woods and steep hills around the Elgin Valley. The duo, made up of German Robert Mennen and Kristin Heineck of the Czech Republic, was the winner. Moving up to the United Arab Emirates for the $10 million Dubai World Cup, the richest horse race on the planet. 16 horses ran in the 2-kilometer contest at the maiden race course, and it was the final 2 that battled it out. Mukhadram had most of the lead, but with 200 meters to go, African Story surpassed him, claiming victory. Now to Greece for motorsports action with the Acropolis Rally. Despite being left out of the Sears World Rally Championship, the 2014 Acropolis Rally was full of excitement, and Ireland's Craig Breen prevailed as the winner, claiming his first victory in the FIA European Rally Championship with his new Peugeot. Time for some winter sports as we head to the Red Bull Skills event in Lenzerheide, Switzerland. Fan favorite Denise Farbend won in front of their home crowd, securing the top spot on the podium. The Swiss domination continued on the men's side as well. Mauro Cabizel came in first to make it a Swiss double on the snow. This is what home court advantage is all about. And we finish in Germany with the 34th edition of the Berlin Half Marathon. The sun was shining and the weather was perfect for running. tens of thousands of locals took part, but the focus was firmly on the Kenyan runners. The men's part was dominated by a foursome, while on the women's side there were two leaders from beginning to end. Delish Bekele won the race, finishing 8 seconds ahead of Agnes Mutune, while Leonard Coman won the men's part on his half-marathon debut with a time of 58 minutes and 23 seconds. And that's it for this edition. Don't forget, you can watch this and every other edition on our website at i24news.tv. We're also on Facebook and on Twitter. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.